Hi, it's Megan. I wanted to finish my Maybelline lipstick video. This is part 2. Part 1 I did yesterday, but these are new Maybelline collection. It's called Rebel Bloom, which Rebel Pastels, which I think is kind of a strange concept for December, but I really like these, and I thought the first half were super different from the second half, but I wanted to get these up quickly just because everything in the drugstore sells out so fast. I think these are permanent, but I'm not sure. But I'm sure they're still going to initially sell out super fast, and it doesn't say limited or permanent. Like I said, strange to see pastels in December, but whatever. You know, I live in Southern California. It's raining here for the first time in like the year. But I'm going to go through these. Overall, the collection was super cool, except for a few which lean a little warmer, but for the most part, it was a pretty cool collection, which I kind of like to see. I lean a slightly warm, kind of neutral to warm, but with certain makeup, I need cooler lip colors, and I just feel like when I was growing up, most of the makeup collections veered too cool for me, but now I feel like they almost veer too warm, so people that have cool tones have a harder time finding what they need. And then overall, as far as the formula on these, they are mostly opaque. They look more, I don't know, the coverage is better than I would expect for a light color like this that has a little bit of sheerness to it, because I don't get any loss on my top upper lip, and they go on, it's kind of hard to describe, but they look opaque while they look slightly sheer at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's the way it looks. You'll see as I go through them. They have kind of a lighter look, and part of it is that they have, some of them, not all, but some of them have that little white thing. I don't know if people understand what I mean about white, but there are a lot of indie brands that have this like white thing. In an extreme, it can look Barbie lip-like, and I also, as I've started playing around with more of the Asian brands, they tend to have some of that kind of whiteness, which gives it more of like a little girl pastel. You either like the look or you don't. This is, I think, not necessarily a December lip, but with a really smoky eye. At nighttime or even in the daytime, it works. So I did not do these perfectly in order. In the swatches, the swatch picture is in order, but the one of the lipsticks put 745, which is the last of the swatches and the last of the lipsticks, in the middle. And I'm actually going to do that one first on the video, just because some of the darker ones of the pastels stained my lips so badly. I was wearing one of them today, and I actually had to get all the color out of my lips before I could do the video. But I just wanted to get this up. Okay, 745. This is Peach Poppy. So this is the last of the shades. And this is exactly what it says. So I'm always surprised with poppies. You can see it's like a medium peach, but with a strong reddish orange undertone to it. And also that real whiteness to it. This is probably the whitest of all the shades. This one in the pastel pink. Comparing it to one from yesterday, I just wanted to compare it. Number 700 was barely bloomed, and this one also was a little bit more warmer toned, but it was a much lighter, you can barely see it, it's super light, it's a much lighter, much less kind of, it's not even like a pink, it's like a reddish undertone to it. So anyway, that's the first one. I really like it, and these last about an hour and a half. I don't get bleeding. With the lighter colors I get no staining. With some of the darker colors I do get some staining. In fact, with one of them I got, I don't want to say bad staining. What's bad staining? I got a lot of staining. So number 725, this one right here. This is Lilac Flush. And by the way, I had to actually adjust my makeup a little bit. I wasn't planning on doing a video. So all I have on is a really sheer BB cream, Korean BB cream. So it'll be interesting to see how it looks on camera. This, because I usually heavier foundation for camera because it picks up every flaw. Even ones I don't see in real life. So this is what it looks like. Lilac Flush. And this is like a light lilac. I think it almost has a slight pink tone to it, but it's definitely in the purple family, but I would say more like an orchid kind of thing. I think this looks like one of the more indie or retro, or not retro, one of the more trendy, retro and trendy are totally different, brand type lipsticks, but more muted than a lot of the ones that I've tried that are kind of lilac. So I think this is a much more wearable lilac. This again is something that I've got a little bit of brown on my eyes, a little bit of I had a little bit of the Opal, Becca Opal highlighter on, and then I had to put something a little bit cooler over it, but it's still a little bit cool toned for this lipstick. I would do blacks, purples, pinks with it. Number 730, Orchid Ecstasy. So Orchid was the big color of the year. They're still coming out with Orchid lipsticks. That's what it looks like. And I still... having seen a million Orchid lipsticks, don't really know what Orchid is because they varied so much for the year of the Orchid. Some were super pink, like this one. I think this one veers very pink. It doesn't really look purple enough to me to be Orchid, but having seen Orchid lipsticks that went from super pink to super purple, I don't know that there is one color that really qualifies. I know Pantone, there's the Pantone Orchid. This is not the pure Pantone Orchid. It's a little bit pinker, just a little. The next one is Rose Flush. Okay, so these two are the ones that really stained. This one stained a little bit. It's the next two that really stained. So I'm gonna leave my lipstick for a minute while I swatch it. Rose Flush. This is a pastel rose, and this is a bright rose color. That has a little bit of an orange undertone to it. So this again is one of the more warm shades. So this batch, there are going to be two that are warm, this one and the first one I had on. Of the first batch, there was only one that veered a little bit warm. This one veers a little bit more warm. And the last one, oh, I'm sorry, this one's going to have another one, three that veer a little warm. But when I say they're veering warm, these are about as cool as these types of shades can look. The last one, this is Coral Burst, number 740, and this one stains, but not as bad as the rose. And again, you can see this again, it looks, I keep looking at it saying, okay, I know it's a warmer color, but it does look a little cool warm. And that's because they do have this kind of white base to them, which does take a warmer color and make it more cool. I could see these on any Barbie doll. I also could see them like in a Miami Beach summer collection, but whatever. They came out in December. So overall, I really like these. I think they're really, what they are is, they are a little bit edgier than I think a lot of the mainstream cosmetic brands have done in the past. And I also saw a CoverGirl display which had like this purple, this whole bunch of purple lipsticks. So I'm really excited to see some of the collections that are just a little bit more kind of aping what some of the indie brands are doing. So anyway, that's it. This is what I think. I just still don't get bleeding, even though I get staining. I don't get bleeding, I don't get creasing, I don't get uneven wear. But you know, the ones that do stain, they leave that on your lips. And I had a hard time getting off the, what was it, the rose? I had a hard time getting that off. So that's it. Please subscribe on YouTube. I would love to get thoughts or comments on these. I very rarely buy a whole Maybelline collection, and so you might not see something like this again for a very long time. And I'm putting my book up, Chapter by Chapter Masks. It's about makeup and the masks we wear. I've got 10 chapters up, and I keep promising chapter 11, but it will be soon, and the link to the other 10 are on the description of this video. Thanks.